Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Moyna Bass Fishers. I am Jim Moyna, the official lure tester manager for Moyna Bass Fishers Enterprises. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about crankbaits and fishing line and pound test that you use with crankbaits, and specifically with reference to the recent 2025 Bassmaster Open on Kentucky Lake, where I competed, finished 122nd out of 226. First day I had 0 fish. Second day I had 3. Whereas in the 2 days that I was using that pattern, I had 6 or 7 keeper bites each of those days. And I've really been trying to grasp at straws as to what went wrong. Why did my number of bites drop off? And I don't know if it was just coincidentally or just by the typical mathematical variance of the situation. I really don't know. But looking back, there was one difference. There was one change I made between the crankbait rod that is fishing my Fritz sides crankbait on compared to this. I was using the same setup on that Fritz side in the tournament, except I changed the fishing line. So in practice, I had 12-pound monofilament, and compare that to in the tournament, I had 8-pound fluorocarbon. Why did I make that change? Because I like to cast on fluorocarbon. I like to fish crankbaits on fluorocarbon. I also and I dropped down in size because I thought maybe I wanted that Fritz side to gain another extra foot or so of running depth. Well, as it turns out, I really didn't need that extra foot because the 3 fish I did eventually catch were in like 2 foot of water. And talking to other people, a lot of it was the same thing. A lot of these fish were caught in extremely shallow water, like 2 feet, 3 feet, and that sort of thing. So I didn't really need, I could have just gotten by with 12-pound test. But what I did notice was a slight bit of the bait fish slightly different on the 8-pound fluorocarbon compared to the 12-pound monofilament. And the reason why I practice as using 12-pound monofilament is because I had several crankbaits tied up on various setups, and this was like one of the last ones I put together, and it just so happens it had monofilament on it from last fall, because I like fishing top waters with monofilament. So this was a rod that had monofilament from a reel that had monofilament from last fall, and I knew I was going to change it out for the tournament to fluorocarbon, so I didn't really want to just change it out then for practice. So anyways, I fished with it on the monofilament practice, and like I said, I had 6 to 7 bites each day. Well, on days 2 and day 3, I didn't really fish that setup much on the first day. And then when I changed to the 8-pound fluorocarbon, it was less. Now, like I said, the bait, the Fritz size, Berkeley Fritz size crankbait, fished slightly different on that 8-pound fluorocarbon, and I noticed it right away in the tournament. It kind of thrown up into those shallow rocks. It found them a lot quicker, and it seemed to dig into the rocks more. It seems like I got hung up more. It didn't skid across the top of them as nicely as with the monofilament. So I guess in hindsight, trying to figure out what happened in this tournament, why my bite production fell off compared to this was widely, as it turns out, I didn't even know this. I mean, this was a bait I just started fishing on my own on that lake, but as it turns out, it was a widely popular bait to use for a multitude of anglers in this tournament, and there was a lot of success by anglers with this bait. So for me to only catch zero fish the first day and only 3 the second day, I just feel like something had to be wrong with my setup. And I guess I have to maybe point to the only change I made was the line, and that monofilament line, it's more buoyant compared to fluorocarbons with sinks. 12-pound monofilament has a bigger diameter, so that's going to make the bait tend to ride a little shallower, whereas that thinner 8-pound line, it's going to allow the bait to get right down deep to its running depth quicker, and it's going to run that depth quicker and stronger. And it was noticeable. I was grinding on the shallow rocks a lot more, it seemed like, with that. So I don't know. I guess I don't know for sure that was the situation, if that was the problem, but I guess I'm kind of just throwing that out there to hear what other people might say about it. You could write in the comments maybe your experience, share with me, so I could maybe learn from what you might know, and maybe some of the other viewers could learn as well. But yeah, I feel like I'm grasping at straws, as they say, but I don't know what else was any different. So yeah, so I'd love to hear from you on that. And one last thing, just kind of a side note. I'm channeling my inner farmhand experience for the next couple weeks, and here's something that I want to show you. Does anybody know what this is? Right here. Does anybody know what this is? Well, I sure the heck didn't until recently. And you know what else I learned? Yeah. So I got really familiar with this thing today. What it is it's like a rod. It pulls out like wrought iron stakes that hold barbed wire. So we wanted to remove a fence line on this farm with that, and the fence line was the wrought iron or the angle iron posts strung with barbed wire. So I got really familiar with barbed wire today and the nastiness of that. And the other thing was the barbed wire was, a lot of it was strewn or strung about with thorny vines. So it was just kind of a nasty wrangle today, but the job's done. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you enjoyed the experience here on Moyna Bass Fishes. Over and out.